Thank you so much, Dr. Oleg. Such a pleasure to have you in this conversation. How are you today?
Thank you very much, Gaurav. The pleasure is mine. I always love those cozy conversations because the most meanings are in them. Thank you.
And it's always so interesting talking to you because the kind of energy that you bring in the conversation and the kind of insights that you bring in, it's so magical. I've actually experienced that every time when I'm being with you.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's nothing magical. It's really human because if we feel ourselves in the center of that chaos of change, we start directing the change. We're leading that change, and so it gives us an energy. But if we are just waiting in panic, oh, the change would come or something would come, we are sending the waves of panic with just like on the wrong vibes. No, no, no. Therefore, it just be a source of that positive vibes.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So, Dr. Oleg, I would love to understand where you come from. If you can just revisit one of those memories from your childhood that still brings a smile on your face today as well.
I was quite a funny kid because everyone was about to tell me, oh, it's impossible. It can't be so, you know. I want to cross the ocean, you know, in a dinghy boat. Just like, forget about it. You know, just like, you're stupid, you know. Why people are not doing something in such a way, you know, just like, ignore it. You don't understand. I was always keen to explore, you know. I wasn't the nicest or well-behaved boy in terms of, you know, just like being absolutely around. I was really good at escaping somewhere and coming back quite late home because I was trying to explore what's going on around. And I had quite a lot of problems with that. My parents too. You know, but that's the most fascinating thing about life because when you explore something you can't read about, no one would tell you about this. Look at a simple thing. When we think about a beautiful vase, oh, it's beautiful, what do we touch? We touch a piece of clay, but the beauty is within us and we're reflecting that beauty. The same with any miracle. If we see, wow, what kind of a river is it? It's miraculous. It's still just water, but the miracle is within us. And I was always keen about this. That makes life really interesting.
Yeah. So you've always been an explorer as a child as well.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. At least I wasn't afraid to you know, to break the boundaries. And I had a lot of problems with that.
So tell me about now, what is it that as a child that you picked up from your life that you still use today as well? So one is I can understand that being an explorer, you were as a child and you are today as well. What are the other qualities that you picked up as a child?
Children are good at their imagination. And imagination fits our vision and fits our inspiration. And so, and more inspiration fits more of our imagination. That's like a closed loop which goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I think the problem, as soon as we grow, we tend to kill that child in us. We say, no, 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 you are too adult. No, no, people would not take it seriously. But the public opinion is opinion of those who never been asked. If you are in charge of creating your life or what you do, you must treat this child with the most care to keep that child energized within you. You know, I have a little son. How I will talk with him from a position being a doctor or just being his father and a friend? Therefore, I must be his friend, the same witty, the same energized person.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. I can absolutely relate with when you're saying that in front of your child, you cannot be a doctor. You can be a father, or you could be a protector, or you could be a caregiver, or you could be a friend.
Yes.
And that makes all the difference.
Because, you see, if I'm just a protector, he would not be much keen to learn from me or listen to me. But if I would be like a friend, It's much stronger connection, a stronger bond.
Mm.
It's very, very different. And again, we are leaving the planet to the next generation. And if we talk with them from the superior position, how much they would listen to us?
Mm.
No way. They want human talk, not manual instruction.
So, Dr. Oleg, tell me something about how did you get into leadership development and the kind of consulting work that today you do in the world? How was your
Oh,
transition into that space?
that's a rough transitioning, I will tell you. I
Mhm.
spent many years in the fishing industry, being on a fishing trawler in the middle of Atlantic facing gale 11, becoming a CEO of international company in the UK, realized I want to learn more. I'm still curious. And I went again at the age of 38 to get my diploma, master's degree, the doctoral degree. And I realized I know much more than just beyond the boundaries of just fishing industry. And I went to consulting. And
Mm.
then I started writing books. And it's led me to thought leadership because approaches that I offered were quite welcomed. And they proved to be really valuable and pragmatic and beneficial for many. And then people start asking me about, can you coach me on certain areas? I never thought about coaching people, and it's only not long ago, but it's so demand called me in. Not me just offering, yeah, I want to be a coach. No, it was a bit reversal.
Thank you so much. And that's where I come across a lot of leaders. They transition into coaching from where they are leading organizations, where they are leading teams, and then they take a pause and they say, okay, now let me just make a difference in the world. And I remember, Dr. Oleg, the last conversation that we had, you said
Yeah.
something really magical. And I'm going to use your words, and then
Okay.
we are going to double click on that.
Okay.
And those few words stayed with me. You said like something like this: talking about past is motivation, talking about the future is an inspiration. I would pay nothing for motivation, and I would pay everything for inspiration.
Absolutely. Because it's true. It's my position because motivation is something very short term. You
Hmm.
know, you can't be motivated well to do something, but motivation doesn't define your effort. It doesn't define your commitment
Hmm.
because I'm motivated to go somewhere today, just something.
Hmm.
But when you're really inspired, you're putting your skin into the game.
Hmm.
You're putting your whole soul, not just a 1 minute energy, a little push. You're putting yourself completely into that thing that you're really inspired to do.
Hmm.
And motivation doesn't work as a magnet for others because
Hmm.
it's purely yours. But inspiration
Hmm.
is a magnet for others because it spreads around is really, really in magical way because people see your passion and they become passionate.
Hmm.
And that's it's exceptionally important because think for a moment. Oh, almost everyone on this planet are very good at promises. I'm promising myself to go back to gym probably next month, or next year, or straight after the Christmas, or I will do certain things. But
Hmm.
if when you're really inspired, you're good at making decisions because your
Hmm.
decisions are firm and aligned with what you do. When you're just motivating you about, oh, what kind of a choice I would have. So you're not putting any responsibility in it. No,
Hmm.
not much commitment. It's just one night win,
Precisely.
nothing else.
Yeah. So, how do you define inspiration? I understand that what you're saying is that motivation has a push to that and inspiration has got a pull to that, right? When you're looking forward to something which is futuristic and solution focused, that's exactly what you're talking about in the inspiration. But how would you define inspiration? What is
I wouldn't say futuristic because it's more about getting something that is bigger than you.
it?
You know, it's because motivation is just would make me a little bit better or more pleased, right? It's still within you. It wouldn't make you stronger, better, more exploratory. where
Mhm.
inspiration is something that pulls you toward your
Mm.
future, and this is greater than you.
Mm.
This is a beauty of this life that
Mm.
makes your thinking artful. You become really, I would say, even leadership wouldn't say it's much poetic, but it makes you artful. It's make you really loving things what you do,
Mm.
and that makes you bigger. And so you could make more benefit or bring more value to people, and of course for yourself. That's a very interesting point, because if you don't grow, you can't give much to people.
Mm. So true, so true. If you can't grow, you will not be able to give to people.
Yes,
Mm.
because what you give,
Is what you have.
exactly.
You give to others what you have, right? And if you don't
Yes.
have that inspiration within yourself, you'll never be able to inspire the world.
No, no
Mm.
chance.
Mm.
So it's motivation is important,
Mm.
but think of a people who become addicted by going almost every month for different motivational trainings.
Mm.
They spend a ton of money. They spend, I don't know, hours and days of their life.
Mm.
What they have achieved? Just a pile of
Invoices
tickets.
and bills.
Yes, that's it. They become addicted to the
Mm.
consistent motivation as a source of
Yeah,
energy which comes from others.
it's
Yeah,
like a drug.
absolutely. They don't have that energy within them to
Mm.
share with others. They're sucking this energy from others.
So, how do you deal with people when you come across people who are looking for motivation and they're least interested in inspiration? How do you deal with those people?
Oh, it's a very simple approach.
Mm.
One of the questions which I'm involving into a conversation, I'm not just like straight into the head, but I'm involving. Do you believe in something? And if you believe in what do you believe? It's
Mm.
not about religious thing or nothing like that. I need to see that somebody believes in something greater than himself or
Yeah.
herself. Because if people don't believe in anything except them, they're purely egocentric. Ego is okay. We're all humans.
Mm.
Nothing wrong with that, but it's a matter how you could control it. If you believe in something greater than you, right, you could keep your ego under control.
Yeah.
Your childish part is still strong within you, and you're right to give out.
Mm.
Just like to give things away.
Yeah. Yeah. In
That's
fact,
important.
we're going to double click and we're going to dwell deeper into this conversation, how to find my purpose, how to get aligned with the vision that I have, because you're an authority in building visionary leadership, right? We'll come to that, but before that, I've got a surprise for you.
Okay.
And this round is what we call as the rapid question answer round. What it means is,
Oh, I will try.
without thinking, you just have to throw a word or a phrase, right?
Thank you.
And that's how it goes. A friend you miss the most.
All my friends with me for 30, 40 years, and I'm blessed with this. Thank you.
Okay. Your favorite book.
Paulo Coelho. Any of his book, Alchemist, is my favorite.
Okay. A leader who has inspired you the most.
It's actually few. Marshall Goldsmith
Mhm.
is one of them. And I'm blessed being in his cohort and, having a conversation with him on a regular basis. He's really, really inspirational.
Yeah. And you are one of those 100 coaches or
Yes,
cohort that
I am, but I would say it's a privilege and obligation.
I'm sure. I'm sure. An ordinary person who is extraordinary in your eyes.
I am really, really admire, for instance, a fishing boat skipper who is taking responsibility to go into the storm and get his crew back safe and in one piece, and with a well-earned money. And those people are brilliant. A lot of people in this life, they do some kind of work that we hardly want to notice. Not just noticing, we hardly want to notice. But without them, we can't live. Think of it, school teachers,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
I just mentioned, we're eating fish almost daily, but this fish, before it's been caught, it's the price of it's not just money, but a risk,
Yeah.
a life risk of these people, for instance. And I really admire what they do.
Your favorite vacation?
I don't have much. Over my life, I had about 7 times vacation, but my best vacation is somewhere in Arctic fishing.
A regret of your life?
Regret. Actually, regrets disappear. The beautiful impressions of what I have done stay long. If you would focus on regrets, you would live some kind of a sad life.
Yeah. One person you're most grateful to?
My mother, my
Favorite author?
wife.
Your favorite author?
Paulo Coelho, I love him.
Your favorite pastime?
I love spending time in tranquil Arctic, because you can't see no one, but you could feel yourself being a tiny part and live part of that huge world.
Okay, the last question. What do you say to somebody you love?
Your coffee is ready.
Thank you. So let's get into the next phase of this conversation, and your coffee is ready now, Dr. Oleg.
Thank you.
All right. So, Dr. Oleg, there are so many books written on leadership, right? On visions. From where did you get an inspiration to write another book? And you call it the Vision Code. What is the philosophy behind this book?
Actually, there are only a couple of books on vision exist in terms of leadership.
Okay.
And I was thinking about vision as not just a general meaning, but what vision is about its nature for more than 20 years. And I've been looking at the way how to decode it or crack that code. Because it's not just a matter to explain that what vision is, but it's a matter to turn it into a very practical tool. You see, we're often taking things like, for instance, for granted, but things which defines our life. Think of the words love, kindness, vision. We spell them every day, but we hardly could explain their nature. But if you want to create something using vision, you must know what is it, how it's structured, what's the nature of it, how to make it accessible to for everyone, or for at least those courageous enough to have a vision. Because to have a vision is a strong decision to live differently and to work differently.
It's like a declaration that you're making for the future.
Of course, because that's the way I want to have my vision, because it would define my highest purpose. It would define my why, how I'm creating my future, what kind of future it will be. You know, the future will come anyway. Tomorrow it would be another day, we know that. But how satisfactory it will be depends on our vision, because our vision defines it. And also, our vision defines our evolution as a humanity, because this is how our thinking defines where we're going to be. It's not about having a long tail, or sharp claws. No, it's how we would live, how we would interact, what we would create for others. And yes, the problem is many people are afraid to have a vision. They're even afraid about their present. We're creating something, and what we're really afraid of. I will whisper it. Think of it. We talk now how we are afraid of artificial intelligence. We created the digital world, and the majority of people are afraid of it. We're afraid of own self. And vision is about how positive it will be, and not just promise, but make it a reality. And therefore, for me, it was really important to find, I would say, not just a recipe, but practical business tool. And I managed it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
So in that book, The
I,
Vision Code, I'm bringing all that model,
yeah.
CAVIAR, which could help people to create their vision, to
Mm.
become visionary leaders, to execute it, and so make it a reality.
Yeah. You know, I often come across people have got their insurances, people have got their term insurance, people have got their life insurance. But if you ask me, do you have a vision for yourself? And people say no to that.
Exactly. And actually, at the end of the life, they have nothing to live after, or they have regrets, as
Mm,
you asked before. They're about regrets. But if you live fulfilling life is meaningless.
mm, mm,
And it's our duty or our obligation to fill it with meanings.
mm. So,
Insurance wouldn't make it.
absolutely not. So, Dr. Oleg, that's exactly what my question is. Now, how can I find something that I'm willing to die for? Or how can I find something that I'm willing to live for? You know, as
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr. said, that if you've not found something to live for, you're not fit to live. And that's where he said that I have a dream, right? And that's revolutionized the nation, that revolutionized the world. And we've got visionaries like Mahatma Gandhi, we've got visionaries like Nelson Mandela, we've got today's visionary, if you look at the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, or the Elon Musk of the world, or Steve
Yeah.
Jobs of the world. These are the people who are actually taking the humanity to a very different level altogether. So how can
And
I find something to die for?
vision comes, it's not a gift. It's not something you're walking down the street and you have some kind of a picture. No. Vision comes when your conscious awareness of a problem you want to solve reaches its peak.
Mhm.
You know, think of Mahatma Gandhi. It didn't came to him overnight. It's a conscious thinking. Here's the problem, defining this problem, and then turning it into, or solving it and making it a reality. It's beyond you. It's what you give to others,
Mm,
because vision reflects the main purpose of leadership: acting for people, acting with people, and acting
mm,
for their needs. So when you clearly realize that that's a main problem or main concern I want to work with, and you're solving it,
mm. So you said
you
acting
will get a
for
vision.
people, acting with
Acting
people,
with people,
acting
and
for their needs.
exactly. Because that's, again, it's behind those questions. It must be greater than you.
Mm,
It's nothing with your ego.
mm,
It's nothing about, oh, I want to have a pile of money. Okay, what you would leave? What's your legacy? Money is not a legacy. It's just something that disappear
mm,
like a morning fog in incapable hands. So it's about you, you living something great after you, then people really follow, that people really believe, and you inspire them. You're making them stronger.
mm,
You're making them more courageous, more creative. And this is millions times better than a pile of money.
mm. So Dr. Oleg, what I'm listening right now is that one is vision should be bigger than who you are, right? It does not only feed your ego, it is much more. That's one. The second thing is, it is when you're doing that for the other people, it is when you're doing something with other people, and it is to address their needs, to identify what is the biggest problem that I would like to address. Is my understanding right?
Absolutely.
Then
You
what's
abso-
up? How can you help a leader to develop his vision or be a visionary leader?
I have a model which called CAVIAR. It's just happened. It's car accident with my fishing background, but
Yeah.
okay. K stands for clarity of creation. You need to be really, really clear on what's a problem you want to solve, or what a need you want to cover, right? It's A stands for ability, because vision is greater than you, okay? And it's greater than your company or your organization, or if it's a country scale, it's greater than your country. And therefore, you must be really capable of managing it. It's about being visionary leader, not about a leader who is chasing events. today. No,
Mm.
because you're leading people far into the future. You're showing people where they're going to be in that prosperous future, and
Mm.
they will fight for it. And therefore, you must be really strong, courageous, well, say, with good knowledge bank, confident, credible. It's about vision is pragmatic, therefore, V stands for viability. It
Mm.
must be viable. It has 6 criteria which defines how vision stands on all
Mm.
6 legs. And its form is pragmatic. And everyone benefit who is involved with this vision benefits out of it. And I stands for influence because vision, you or me, for instance, we created our visions. And for a certain moment, it's yours or mine sole property. But as soon as I'm shared, it's collective property. And I need as much as possible people to make an input in it and to make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every day. It's not just scalability. So for everyone to be involved, they must enjoy it. They must benefit from it. So it's about influencing and communicating it properly. And of course, another A stands for acting or executing, because vision without execution is just talks. It's just a statement on the wall in a reception, which people wouldn't buy. You must do something real. And it's about strong leadership, not the leadership on consensus, because it's not about pleasing people.
Mm.
Pleasers are faceless.
Mm.
Leaders who are leading people to the bright future, they are memorable, they are valuable. And of course, it's about R, revitalizing, because vision grows as we grow with it.
Mm.
The higher you climb, the further you see, so you're adjusting your vision, you're making it relevant to what's already been done and what more could be done about it. So it's a great process.
You said the process name is CAVIAR, right?
Yes, caviar.
It talks about clarity of the purpose. What is it that you really care for? Moving away
Clarity of creation.
clarity of creation.
Creation.
Then you
Yes.
spoke about ability.
Yes.
Then you
And
spoke about viability.
yes.
Then you spoke about influence,
Yes.
acting and execution, and revitalizing. Is my understanding right?
Exactly. And vision is not a gift. The gift only is your hard work and your focus
Mm.
on what you want to achieve.
So, what do you think? What is the biggest challenge a leader is facing in today's VUCA world? If you look at all this caviar model, where do you think, where does a leader face the maximum challenges?
Actually, at every stage. It starts with the clarity of creation because people often think about themselves and therefore they're falling into a trap of personal ambitions. That's
Mm.
it. You must think of people. What for them, right? We talk about Martin Luther King. Yes, it was his dream, but about
Mhm.
others,
Yeah.
right? And Nelson Mandela was fighting not for himself only, but for
Mm.
everyone in South Africa, and actually about eradicating apartheid. And it's not about jumping from one tree to another or from one table to another table. It's about being really focused on what you do. It's not promising everything on the earth. It's about saying, I can do one thing, but it will make a huge impact.
Mm.
Whether on a scale of local community or region or country or globally, but because you can't be great at everything. It's about being focused. And it's not easy, but it's coachable, it's possible, it, not as difficult as people often assume. Ability, it's a bit less. Those who are prepared to take a vision on and work with it, it is possible, right? Viability, yes, you must help people to look far beyond the bottom line figures.
Mm.
Because this is where vision could start losing alignment with execution. So
Mm.
every stage has its own difficulties, but therefore I have like a special forms, a questionnaires, and people could look at it and
Mm.
align themselves into that focus and get a practical result, real result.
So you take people through the complete process, one
Absolutely.
step at a time. There are several templates that you have, and you have several tools and forms as well. Is my understanding
But
right?
Gaurav, I came from the fishing industry. You know, you can't tell people I got a fish, but it's not on the table. You know, it's still in the water. It's all there.
Yeah. So, Dr. Oleg, help me understand. I'm sure you would have come across leaders who would get seduced by the low-hanging fruits.
Oh yeah.
So, how do
Oh
you
yeah.
ensure that a leader, once he has decided this is what I really care for, how does the process caviar help this person to handhold, navigate the challenges, sail through the white waters, and achieve what he really cares for? And in your metaphor, pick up the fish and bring it on table.
The thing is, when you see something really great, and this is a really transformational process, you're already not paying attention to those low-hanging fruits. You're not interested in a small fish. You're really after the large fish, or fish that's it worth all your desires. And this is a transformation, which people who are going through this are amazed. Even I received brilliant video testimonials from people who are coached, you know, from US, South Africa, India, from UK, France, where people saying, look, I came with a vision. Now I understand what vision is, and I really have a grand vision. They're not interested anymore in those low-hanging fruits. Those who are prepared to play low, they play low. You know, it's about how you prepare to change your mentality.
So, Dr. Oleg, what do you think? What is the connection between the transformation that you're talking about and achieving the vision that could be outside of you, right? I often share with people that there are two games that a leader is playing. One is the internal game, and the second one is the external game. What is visible to you is the external game that the leader has played. So we are talking about Elon Musk, and he's talking about reaching Mars. That's an external game. I'm sure there's a lot of transformation that he would be going through within as well. What do you think? What, according to you, is a connection between the internal game?
I think they're just not showing what kind of a battle they're facing every day within them. You know, they're just not showing it publicly. But to manage such things like as Elon Musk, for instance, executing and putting it to reality, it's a big, tough challenge within him. Therefore, that's part ability is critical. If you can't challenge yourself about courageous thinking, about even simple thing, if you're not confident, you wouldn't make far. But what confidence is? Confidence comes when you're sure that you deliver your promises. It's not about what people say, oh, you are nice. It's nothing. But if I'm confident that I deliver what I promised, I become confident.
Yeah.
And I'm confident on what I can do. And I'm just trying to get it up and up and up and up again and again and again.
So delivering your promise is very vital, right?
Absolutely. Because if you can't, how you can be confident if you can't deliver your promise? Of course, you will have loving friends who would be telling, oh, you are still nice.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't give you confidence.
Yeah. And as you're mentioning that, no, you'll not be able to leave the legacy that you would like to leave.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Because you delivered nothing. The only thing you could leave as a list of mistakes.
Yeah. They might tell you that you're really nice, at least you made efforts. But at the end of the day, what did you deliver? Did you deliver on your promise? That's a question that I need to ask myself as a leader.
Yes. Or simple. You know, when people, you know, it's very fashionable today to call self, I'm a leader. But I always have a question, what people achieved under your leadership. If people really achieved something, okay, you're a leader. But if not, it's just your statement.
Thank you, Dr. Oleg. I think it was absolutely a interesting conversation. I personally learned a lot. I'm revisiting what is it that I would like to uh, work towards if I were to leave today. What is the vision that I'm living, and what's the promise that I'm delivering on? As you mentioned, it is for people. Is it with people? Is it to address the need of the people? What's the biggest problem? that today I am addressing, which I'm making an attempt to address. So these are a few questions that I'm reflecting. So, Dr. Oleg, if you were to revisit your life and if you were to give a piece of advice to your 21-year-old self, what would that be?
Be yourself. Be yourself, whatever happened, be yourself, true
Mm.
self. Because whatever happens, I have different experiences in my life, very positive and not very positive. And if you start losing yourself, you would lose your life. Because finding self is the most difficult thing. But if you wouldn't lose yourself, you wouldn't waste time on finding self. You would be
Yeah,
reinventing self again and again.
yeah.
And you would remain true.
I think that would require another conversation to talk about how to find yourself. Would love to get into that conversation. So,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Oleg, here's the last question for you. With all the wisdom that you've been able to build for yourself, all the great leaders that you've worked with, you are one of the 100 coaches cohort that Marshall Goldsmith has. You are one
Yeah.
of the top 50 thought leaders. You work with few of the best leaders in the world. Now, wherever you are today, would you know for sure with 100% certainty and surety?
Where I'm going to be, I still want to keep exploring.
Brilliant. Thank
I
you.
want to be that child that talks to this old man who is dying and they're still having a row.
So we started the conversation with exploration, and I think we are ending this conversation with exploration. And I look forward to further explore about leadership, about finding the purpose, finding your life, and more conversations around leadership, visions, finding your purpose, and how to actually do something that would help an individual to leave a legacy so that I can really contribute something which is bigger than me. So, Dr. Oleg, thank you so much for your time. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored. Thank you. Thank you.
Looking forward to our next conversation. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to read your book, The Vision Code.
I believe it's really practical, not only for business, but for personal life as well. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to read that book. Thank you.
Thank you.